Hi and welcome to the latest of our macrame tutorials. Today we're going to be making a macrame Christmas tree, just a small wall hanging, or you might want to make a few and make a bunting. What you'll need today is a 3mm cord, and I'm using the single twist bobbiny in Golden Natural. It's nice and Christmassy and it's got the strands of gold running through it. And I have cut myself some lengths about 1 metre 50 centimetres. Okay, now how many you need depends on how big you want your Christmas tree to be. Okay, so I'm starting off with 6. So cut yourself 6 lengths, and then if you want to add any more to make your Christmas tree bigger, then you can. I've also got a small wooden hoop. This one's just 2.5 centimetres, but again, you can use whatever you like to be your hanger. Okay, I'm also working on my cork board because I like to pin my work in place, stop it shuffling around when I'm working, and it makes it easier to pull the knots. And then we're ready to go. So the first thing you're going to do is take 2 of your pre-cut cords. So remember, they're about 1.5 meters, and you're going to attach them with a lark's head knot to your hoop. Okay, so make sure the ends meet together. There we go. Then you'll get a loop at the other end, which you're going to put through your wooden hoop, open it out, and then you pull those 2 cords through. So that's one done. And then let me get my other cord. And I'm going to do exactly the same. Loop through. Okay, so I've attached that now, and I've got 2 lark's head knots. Okay, so now I'm going to pin that in place so it doesn't move too much. And I'm just going to start off by making a square knot. Okay, so it's one of the most basic knots that you will have learnt in macrame. If you're unfamiliar, then please take a look at our other tutorials with the basic knots on. But we're going to make a simple square knot. So my left cord, I say, makes an L shape. Some people say number 4, goes over the centre 2 cords. And then my right hand cord is going to go underneath the centre 2, and it's going to come out here through that L loop. Okay, and then all you do is you just pull that. So that's half a square knot, and then I'm going to complete the square knot by making my P loop. Okay, and then my L cord comes through that P loop. Okay, so there we go. That's our square knot done. All right, so now I'm going to bring my 4 cords back down here, and I'm going to take the second cord from the right over that outer cord, that outer right hand cord, and this is now going to become a filler cord, and I'm going to make a double half hitch knot. Okay, so my filler cord is over that cord. So I'm going to take it over once, and then I've got this loop here. So I'm going to pull that through that loop, and then just pull that tighter. Okay, and that's half a hitch knot, and then we're going to repeat that for the double half hitch knot. So over your filler cord again, through that loop, and then pull that, and then pull that nice and snug against the previous one. Okay, what I'm going to do here is, because obviously we want our tree to come out, I'm going to take another one of those pre-cut cords that I'd got, and I'm going to attach it to the filler cord, but with a reverse lark's head knot. Okay, so the loop's going to go under that filler cord. Okay, I'm going to bring it over and open it out, and then I'm just going to pull these two cords through that loop. And then what happens is, when we pull that tight, it gives the same finishing effect as a double hitch knot. Okay, so we've added a cord, but we're just extending that, and it gives the same effect. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that on the left hand side. So I'm going to take my filler cord, which was the second from the left this time, over that far left cord. Okay, also notice, because I'm doing a tree, I'm kind of holding it at a diagonal, because that's the direction I want my tree to go. So then I'm going to take that working cord over the filler cord. I've got that loop there, through, and then pull up to the square knot that we had, and I'm going to repeat that again for the double half hitch. Okay, and then as we added the cord on the right hand side, I'm going to repeat on the left. So loop this time underneath, open it out, and then pull those two cords through. Pull it tighter, snug, and then there we go. Okay, so now we have 4 cords on that right hand side, if you like, and we have 4 cords on the left. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first cord from the left hand side, so it's the 1, 2, 3, the 4th one in from the left, and that's going to be my filler cord for this side, because it's going to join. Okay, it's going to join both sides and hold it together. Okay, so I'm not going to use that first cord, but I'm going to use this next cord, so it's the 3rd one from the right, and I'm going to make a double hitch knot. Okay, there's one. And there's 2. And then here there is the 3rd one. Okay, and then bring these cords back over here. All right, so as you can see, so on that right hand side I made 3 double hitch knots. Okay, you can see how now that the side of the tree is beginning to extend. So now I'm going to take that first cord, which was from the right hand side, okay, and I'm going to bring it over to the left, because again that's going to hold them together, and I'm going to make 3 double hitch knots on this side. So, 1, 2, and 3. So there we go. And now I'm going to bring all my cords back down to the centre. Okay, make sure you straighten them out. There we go. Okay, so that's the first part of the tree done. Okay, now what we're going to do is to sort of like fill this space in here before we do our next diagonals. We're going to make another square knot. Okay, so leave 2 to the right and the far 2 to the left, and you've got 4 cords in the centre to make your square knot. Okay, and then bring them back down here. Okay, so we're ready to move on to the next layer of the tree. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we've got 8 cords, but we're going to split them into 4s, and we're going to make 2 square knots. Okay, so I'm going to make a square knot with the left hand 4 cords. And I will make a square knot with the right hand 4 cords. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to take the 3rd cord from the left, so it's the right hand cord from that square knot we've just made. I'm going to take it over the right hand cords. Okay, I'm not going to make a double hitch knot with the first one from the right hand side, but with the last 3 cords from the right hand side, I'm going to make a double hitch knot. If you notice, I'm bringing it diagonally, so it's forming the next part of the tree, and I'm trying to keep the angle the same as I did before. Okay, so here you'll get sort of like 2, if I show you, you'll get sort of 2 lines of cord exposed, if you like. See that pattern there? 1. Okay, and then again, just as we did before, I'm going to add another cord onto this side with a reverse lark's head knot. Okay, and then I'm going to push that up. There we go. Okay, that's that first side done. So now we're going to repeat the same on the left hand side. So I'm going to use that cord which was from the right hand side to bring over these left cords. Okay, and again we're crisscrossing them because it holds it together. Okay, so then I'm going to take my 3 left hand cords and we're going to make double half hitch knots on this side. 1 half and a double. And the third one. You can see you've got this pattern formed on the sides as well, which is quite nice. Okay, and then again on that left hand side, I'm going to take one of my extra cords that I cut and add it with a reverse lark's head knot. Okay, bring all your cords again down to the centre. Okay, and I'm going to make, just as we did here, I'm going to make a second row of double half hitch knots. So again, we're going to take the first cord from the left hand side and bring it over. There it is. Miss out that first one. So this time I'm going to use these 5 cords. Make a double hitch knot. And you can see what's happening. It's the same as this row here, just that we've added more cords. And in fact, what I'm going to do is stop it moving around so much. I'm just going to pin that. Should hold it a bit steadier now. That's better. There's one. 2. And then this last one. Okay, and then bring these back down here, and then I'm going to take this cord over here, which is now becoming the filler cord for this side, and I've got these 5 cords to make my double hitches on this side. Two. 3. Very relaxing. And the last one. Okay, and then bring those cords back down. There we go. So that sort of like widens it out a bit. Okay, so now we're going to repeat making a square knot in the centre. Okay, and this is where you can, after this bit is where you can decide if you want to stop here or make your tree bigger. Okay, so if I make a square knot there. Okay, now on this next row, I'm going to make alternating square knots. So I want the right hand cords from this square knot I've just done, and then I want the 2 cords from these double half hitch knots. Okay, so you've got your group of 4. and then what we do to that side, we're going to do to the other. So we're going to make a square knot here. Okay, but because we've made this row bigger, we're going to make, we had 1, here we had 1 and 2, and here we've got 1 and 2, and we'll have 3. Okay, so we're going to make a square knot here. And a square knot in the middle. And then a square knot on the right hand side. Okay. Bring all those back down to the centre. There we go, and make sure they're not overlapping. Okay, right, we're looking good so far. If you're happy with the size of your tree, then you're going to stop here. If you wanted to make your tree bigger, then you would repeat what we did for these previous two, which would be to make a row of double hitch knots, then add another cord, then another row of double hitch knots, okay, and then repeat it on that side, and then you would have 1 square knot, 2 square knots, 3 square knots, 4 square knots, okay, and that's going to make your tree quite a bit bigger, okay, and then you're ready to finish off. So whichever size you decide you want to do, this one or go one more row, so the finishing off process is the same, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave these centre 2 cords just here, okay, and it's just these outer cords that we're going to work with. Now if I show you on the left hand side first, so the outer left hand cord is going to become our filler cord, but this time we're not going to make diagonal hitch knots, we're going to make a horizontal row of hitch knots, okay. So it's exactly the same, it's just that if you notice, I'm making sure that my filler cord is pointing the way I want it to go in a horizontal position, okay. So I'm going to make my double hitch knots over here, okay. Remember those 2 centre cords, you might want to move them out the way so you don't use them, okay. So there's that one there. And then one more. Okay, now that cord is just going to lie there and these cords going to lie to the side, okay, and then you're going to repeat on the other side. So the far right is going to become our filler cord, and then you're going to make your double hitch knots. The first one's always the trickiest. There you go. 2. Three. And 4. Okay, and then that filler cord is going to come to the centre here. Okay, now so you can see that we've got that nice tree shape now. Obviously that would just get bigger if you added more cords. And then these, so we've got these centre 2 that we left, and then we've got the filler cords from either side, but we're going to use these to make the trunk of the tree, which is just going to be a couple of square knots. So I'm just going to do 1 square knot. Now I'm using the golden natural, so a bit of the strands coming out there. So 1 and 2, and that's going to be my tree trunk. Okay, so now all that's left to do in this design, because I've left the cords hanging down, is just to trim these. There we go. Done that side a bit shorter, so I have to even them up. Okay, move all the bits out the way, and then you can untwist these. You can brush them out, but you can leave them to fray naturally. Okay, now this is just one version of this design. As I say, you can make it bigger. You can, rather than leave these bottom bits out to fray, you can collect the cords as you go along, so it's just one cord. I might do another video to show you that, but there are lots of ways you can play about with it. Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed that. If you like what you've seen, please click on subscribe. You'll be notified of new tutorials as I upload them, and leave a comment below. I'll see you again soon. Thanks then. Bye.